Hello, everyone, and welcome back to The Letter. In the last episode, we Luke got to meet the ghost for the first time. What I'm assuming is the first time. He did about as well as you'd expect.
So far, I have not seen one redeeming quality.
He's not done good.
No.
Not great.
I'm pretty sure he's the Bratwurst Mafia.
There we go.
Said.
Episode title right there.
I was waiting for you to say that.
All right.
You're not going to remember this.
No, probably not.
I'll be very disappointed. I never get to name episodes.
Nope. Well, start coming up with them.
I just did.
Right. Well, remind me.
How am I supposed to remind you?
I don't know. Not my problem. Anyway, here we go.
So if this is not named that, he's to blame.
Yes. Who knows? We might get something better. But I refuse to acknowledge it, let alone look back.
That's appropriate.
All I need is to get away from her and to make sure she stays away. If that means acting like a coward and seeking out company to keep me safe, nobody can tell me to do otherwise. Bravery isn't something to be lauded if it comes along with stupidity. It must have been a sight to see the unusually composed and reserved Luke Wright bursting through the doors. Not that I have much of an audience unless there are other staff members who've chosen to disregard my orders for them to leave. Really, I still doubt that woman is one of the staff. I would probably doubt that too.
She's a ghost that thinks you're whoever that dude is in the picture.
Mustering up the courage, I look back through the windows to see if she followed me. She's gone, but I don't take any chances, putting as much distance as I can between us. Stopping to catch my breath, Johan's sudden appearance nearly makes me jump out of my skin.
Don't fucking do that! You son of a bitch! If I had a gun, I would have shot you!
If I had any love left for my mutter, I'd take offense.
Oh, wow.
But what happened to you? You look like you've seen a ghost.
Funny story. Oh, if only it were such a delusion. But I could still feel her sharp nails digging into my back. That feeling was too real for it to have been a ghost.
There was his housekeeper. I think, I'm not sure. In the gardens. She was acting odd and I thought to remove myself from the scene.
Strange. I made sure the rest of the staff had left and that the house was empty as you requested. Describes this woman. She
had pale skin, dark eyes, and long dark hair. She wouldn't give me her name.
I half expect a name from him. The man knows the staff better than I do, after all.
Does he know?
But instead of an answer, he grows quiet. I'm pretty sure that's not a good thing. I'm even more worried when the other man looks at me over. I have to protest when he pulls back my collar.
What in the bloody hell are you doing?
Checking for marks. Needle marks, to be exact. We don't have anyone like that among the staff. You could have easily been kidnapped.
A cold feeling settles itself over me at the thought. I've long established my power over the more unsavory characters in Luxborn. Or I thought I did. And the most harm I thought that could come to me would be slander, robbery, or incarceration. Kidnapping? An attempt on my own person. I've forgotten that I'm as human as mortal as any other man despite my wealth and status.
Fortunately, you look unharmed. But I advise that you be accompanied by trusted individuals at all times from now on. If not me, an assigned guard. I'll be informing them of this soon as they return from their day in the city.
Already I can feel the energy leave me at the realization of what could have been.
All right. Yes, I suppose we should do that. But I think I'd like to call it a day. I should be safe in bed, yes?
Oh.
I'll stand guard outside for the night. The madam has been inquiring about you, by the way.
Guard. Any other threat and he alone would be enough to make me feel safe. But what I saw, whatever it is I saw, would one man be enough?
That's all well and good. But there's something else. That housekeeper.
Is this why there were guards everywhere?
I'm thinking.
Luke, you're home. I was worried about you.
The grin that I can muster is probably lopsided, forced as I snap my mouth shut to keep myself babbling about witches and monsters. Because here I am standing in the hallway, dirt on my pant legs and sweat dotting my forehead. A far cry from my usually pristine condition. I don't want to worry Hana. A cough.
What happened to you? You look like you wrestled in the mud and moss, dear. And those flowers. Were you gardening?
What? Oh, these. I didn't realize I still had them.
I really did not. But there they are, still in my grip, the daffodils I had taken from the garden. Even in the wake of my flight, I had refused to let go of them, whether I was conscious of it or
Shall
not.
I put them in a vase?
Perhaps I did it to save face, or maybe a small part of me really had planned to take them for her. Alright, I assumed that would be a good thing, but you never know.
I'm just like, I don't know if I really want him to get any relationship points with anyone. He's not a very good dude. But I will say, somewhere in his black heart, he does care for her.
Yeah, see, I mean, maybe we can make him good. We can change him.
What are you, like a 20-year-old in a romance novel?
Or, you know, the basic rom-com. Perhaps I did it. Yeah, we already read that. But like a young man presenting flowers to a Valentine's, I awkwardly thrust the bouquet in Hana's direction.
They're for you.
These are lovely, thank you. But aren't these?
The surprise is to be expected. The open-ended question needs little interpretation. I've never given her daffodils before, especially not from the ones that I considered mine.
They're for you. Don't make me think that kneeling around in the dirt was a waste of my time.
It's not. It's not. Just, are you feeling all right? I hope whatever I have isn't contagious.
I'm not sick, Hana. I just got them for you. I thought they'd make you feel better, brighten up the room. I don't need my intentions questioned. The thank you was enough.
And I didn't mean to insinuate anything. But you are right. Thank you, truly, for these.
There we go. She takes them from me, then careful not to crush the stems. There's still uncertainty on her face, which endears and annoys me in equal parts. But she does look lovely with them, the very picture of her, something that should be immortalized in paint. It should be for Mother, but it doesn't matter
Why
anymore.
don't we turn in for the night? You must be exhausted with all that gardening.
Yes. Gardening.
Wasn't frolicking with the maid in the dirt.
Yes. What does a dead woman care for flowers? Dut, dut, dut.
Alright, so Halloween. When did we break into
That's
the
what I wanted to look at. I
house?
think it was Halloween. Oh, wait. There we go. Yep, they argue.
Left for the
Mention at nightfall. Okay, so this is the night. Oh, here we go. Here we go. I didn't get any sleep, not a single wink. I was so busy jumping at every shadow and worrying about waking with a knife in my chest. Or not waking at all. Even when Hana wakes in spite of a mild fever and goes downstairs for breakfast, I stay in bed, thoughts of poisoned food running in my head. The rain that has started sometime during the night doesn't help the mood. Okay, maybe it helps just a little. The strange sunny weather has been nice and all, but for it to return as it should be feels like a good sign of things to come. Perhaps things will settle back to normal and crazy drama that has gone on lately will die down. I would hate to be caught unawares in this rain. And with how it looks outside, it seems that the weather is making up for all the sunny days it's given us with a good old-fashioned downpour. The rhythmic pitter-patter of the rain fills the early morning silence with a steady beat. Thank goodness I don't have to be anywhere in a hurry today. I would hate to be caught unawares in this rain. With how it looks outside, it seems that the weather is making up for all the sunny days. Wait, what? They go backwards? It does let up within the quarter of an hour. However, a day beginning with a cloudburst like this, locals usually take it as an immediate sign. Luxborn's abysmal weather is back, likely for good. ... I hope they did a damn good job of fixing this place because I'd rather not have to deal with leaky roofs. I don't like the idea that the realty did a horrid patch job with the place. Well, Hana technically paid millions for this place. It better live up to the price the realty company sold it for. Roof problems aside, she's going to be a definite downer about this as well. She hates the rain. Then again, who actually does? What sane person would like it when 9 out of 10 days consist of nothing but dark, drab, and gray skies and piss water pouring from the heavens? And she was just starting to enjoy the sunlight.
There's lots of places like that people don't mind.
Seattle?
Mm-hmm.
Here they get a lot of rain.
And it's dreary a lot, too.
I will have to get up and about eventually, that is a given, but I'm not too keen on seeing or talking to Hana before she leaves for the hospital. Or eventually, in a few days' time, this bloody house. Kylie won't like it if she comes here only to find me in a bad mood. Few would dare rouse me from bed. Being able to keep their jobs is incentive enough. I trust they realize that now is not a good time to force me into anything. Maybe I can just get another hour or two of sleep before Suarez drops his brat off the mansion steps. If only. But as always, somebody has to be a buzzkill.
Are you really going to stay in bed all day?
What do you want?
You must have been really rattled by what happened yesterday. If you need to talk about it, I am quite qualified in that regard.
And you aren't even the slightest bit bothered. Truly. Not even the slightest bit worried.
For a hitman, I still like him.
Yeah. I wasn't too happy when he tried to kill us, but that aside, you know, it could have just been a misunderstanding.
It probably was.
Yeah, I don't think he had any ill intent.
I'm sure he kills lots of people, though.
I'm sure they deserved it.
I was worried. But I realized that it's not my life in danger, is it? My worrying will not help matters. Neither will yours.
Loath as I am to admit it, he's right. Still, it's more frustrating when he doesn't give me time to concede his point.
I know you two aren't getting along.
Nosy bugger.
But you should at least see the madam off before we leave. Think of her as a business associate if you must. It would not do to part on bad terms.
That is probably
That's
a smart.
very
It's far too
ominous.
early to deal with your nosiness.
That's none of his business, none of it. If he remembers his place, he'll drop it. I do not want to talk to Hana, not now when I'm so high-strung and paranoid. This whole thing is a bloody mess and everything going off at once. I'm afraid that with our troubles, I will misinterpret anything she might say or do. That'd just make the whole thing worse.
Are there any updates about the woman?
Being in the dark has me on edge. Information, any at all, may very well help me and calm me
I've
down.
already briefed security about her, and more from the agency will be arriving tonight. But they haven't seen anyone fitting the description.
So you have nothing then? Fat lot of use you guys are. What do I even pay you
Why
for?
don't you put in security cameras? Like, that's the one thing I was thinking of. Like, wouldn't you watch security tape? But the facility's so old.
Yeah.
Do me a favor. There's the door. Don't let it hit you on your way out.
Well, there is something. It's about McCulloch.
Can anyone blame me if I show the tiniest bit of interest? She's still not done with the house, and she's a nice enough woman. Plans to go back to sleep are
I
gone.
called her secretary about taking the day off. He hasn't heard from her over the weekend.
She's probably passed out after enjoying a pint or two or 10 in a bar somewhere. She's an adult. It was the weekend. She's allowed to disappear and not think about work. Fuck. I wish I was passed out after a night of drinking. He does know that mobiles are a thing.
That's all well and good, but she's not answering her mobile either. Mr. Parker will be filling a missing persons case with the police if she doesn't turn up today.
Certainly someone must know where she is. Tabs are kept without fail on people who come to work with me. Background checks and constant surveillance until they finish their contracts with the Wrights. Some would say that it's all a bit over the top, but I can't be too safe. Too many want me
What
dead.
about one of ours? Has anyone seen her? She's pretty hard to miss with how tall the woman is.
The last anyone has seen of her was here, the morning of the party.
Wasn't she at the party, though?
No, she didn't make it. The morning of the
I thought
party,
that whole thing happened at the party.
Nope. That was the morning of the party. She was there. She went downstairs and never came back.
Your housewarming party.
That isn't good news.
It wouldn't do for the police to hear of this and to suspect.
It's of little import that I can easily prove my innocence. It's all a matter of principle. Because even the accusation of misdemeanor should not stain my reputation, although maybe it is a bit too late to hope for a squeaky clean one. Besides, it'll be such a hassle to have police poking about the house looking for a body that doesn't exist.
Now, if we're done here, I'd like to go back to sleep and...
Oh, there goes any plans of grabbing some shut-eye. Rolling over on my stomach, I can only scream into my pillow.
Of course, of course. Ugh.
But you're like screaming through the house.
Johans, distract her.
Oh, look, it's time for me to go. Have fun with your little play date. So long, farewell, and auf Wiedersehen. Goodbye.
No, Johans, don't you turn away from me. Keep her busy for an hour. Come on.
That is the best.
I have to press my face against the pillow once more to suppress a groan. You just can't get loyal help anymore.
Hello there, little Fraulein. Your uncle is just upstairs and will be down in a moment. He is super excited to have you today. I hope you're well rested and ready to play a lot.
That bastard. I'll be down in a sec, Munchkin. Let me just...
Change into a fresh shirt, brush my teeth, fix my hair, bemoan my
Sorry.
Change into a fresh shirt, brush my teeth, fix my hair, bemoan my very existence. Wish I was anywhere else in the world right now. Don't get me wrong, Kylie is a great kid. Wonderful. Better than most brats her age. But handling a tyke is the last thing I want on my agenda right now with this whole Hana business. Fortunately, I'm well versed in how the world works. I've long learned that the show must go on no matter what hurdles come in my way. So I set to preparing for the day. Running a comb through my hair is just divine and simply makes me feel more human. Bad hair is disgusting, though it isn't as bad now as it was when I was a child. With how expensive a trip to the barber's was, I often had to grow it out until Mother had the time to cut it for me. The curls and tangles were simply horrid. Why, I was even mistaken as a little girl because of that. It certainly didn't help that I was named Lucille. A freshly pressed shirt is enough to chase away the last signs of sleepiness. The feel of crisp and clean clothes in my hands is a clear marker to the start of the day. Smoothing down my suit and my hair with a sigh, I steel myself for the horrors that come with taking care of a child.
Good morning to you, Luke.
Speak of the devil and she shall appear. Bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, Kylie grins up at me as soon as I open the bedroom door. She swings the backpack she's clutching, hitting my leg in a show of impatience and looking entirely unapologetic for it.
Did you just wake up? Don't tell me you forgot. It's our playdate today.
I doubt I'd forget. Kylie's visits are a frequent enough thing that they've found a way into my schedule. There's supposed to be visits to her godmother, but we can't pick who a child gets along with, so long as I'm not busy, her father can drop her off for the day. Which is all well and good for me if it makes Suarez focus on work I've given him. Besides, she's a bright child, tolerable. Kid's got a good head on her shoulders and can get pretty mature for her age at times.
What kind of work is he focusing on? Is it the legal work or the illegal work?
I'm gonna go with the second, probably. Of course, they have to thank me for that. Her parents can take partial credit, but Hana and I have been there for this kid since she was just a small babe. Well, I can remember the first time I saw her. It was during her baptism. The only reason I was there was to accompany Hana, who was to be named godmother. She was such a tiny thing, not even a year old, and swaddled in her mother's arm in white cloth. It was the first time I really saw an infant up close enough to hold one at least. It had been terrifying to be given a little child to carry after the whole water ceremony. I've never done so before that, to hold a tiny life in my arms. I should have just dropped her on her head and this tiny little tyke before me. I could have just dropped her on my head. I thought it said should. I'm like, what? I could have just dropped her on her head and this tiny little tyke before me would have stopped existing then and there. But the child just smiled at me, babbling nonsensical words as children do, and clinging to me even as I tried to hand her off to Hana. He had thought it hilarious and adorable. My suit had been a mess, and I was nearly an anxious wreck by the time I handed her back to her mother. Yet it was pleasant too.
Of course I didn't, you little rugrat. I just had to take care of something before you arrived.
Really? Well, I guess that's fine. As long as he's only for work like last time.
Really? Now why don't we go back down and have breakfast in the parlor?
I already ate at home. Papa made one of his tortillas de patatas. He wouldn't let me leave until I finished every bite.
Kid knows more foreign words than I do.
The Suarez's infamous tortilla de patatas. Those things are a hazard. You can probably use one to bludgeon someone into submission with how huge they are. It's a miracle Kylie can still be so energetic. I had trouble staying awake the first time I had one. Speaking of staying awake...
Well, I need some coffee in me at the very least. But if you'd like, you can jump straight to dessert.
Yes! Dessert, please!
It's easy enough to manage Kylie with the promise of sweets, thankfully. The hard part is managing her before she gets the sweets, because I nearly have a heart attack when the kid races down the stairs. Just the thought of her slipping and breaking her neck is enough to make me rush down after her.
Slow down! The food isn't going anywhere.
The food is going somewhere. In my tummy.
Hey, right.
It's true.
Jesus fucking Christ. Children.
Language.
Yeah.
Swear jar.
Can we
Just sort of swear jar
just
count.
put a swear jar up there? With a shake of my head, I usher Kylie towards the parlor and order a maid to bring food for us. Whatever breakfast there is, along with a cup of coffee for me and an ice cream for Kylie. But I can't leave the kid alone for too long unless I want to let her turn the other room into a slaughter
When
ground.
he said dessert, I thought he was talking about like breakfast dessert.
That's what I
Ice
thought.
cream's not a breakfast dessert, dude.
You know, but it's probably fine.
I guess even as a kid, I don't know if I'd want ice cream dessert. I'd rather have a donut or donuts.
Yeah, I'll take a donut.
That was like my breakfast dessert as a kid, donuts.
Chocolate chip pancake.
Ooh, those are good too.
I don't know if that counts as a dessert. Still.
I ate them. They were good.
True to my expectations, I've only left Kylie alone for a few minutes, but she's already made herself comfortable. The stuff from her backpack has been left scattered across the room, from coloring books to crayons to toys.
I like the dinosaur.
She's well equipped to amuse herself with no trouble, though I can certainly breathe a little easier. She won't bring her doll along every time she visits.
I think it's the
Narcissa?
name. I think it's the name of the doll.
Narcissa is a creepy little bugger.
Those dolls are creepy.
It doesn't help when Kylie left her during one.
Maybe one of her playdates left the doll there.
Yeah. Finding the thing in the bottom of my stairs, staring up at me at 3 o'clock in the fucking morning, is a memory that won't be leaving me anytime
How
soon.
drunk were you too?
Even now, it stares at me from where it's seated. I'm wholly tempted to just throw the thing into the fireplace and banish it from whence it came. I can buy her a prettier doll, a better toy. I will break it, find a way to get rid of it if it wasn't for Hana, and if only Kylie isn't so attached to it. The thing is, some antique doll she found for the brat's 6th birthday, one of a kind. My darling Hana loves her so, and Kylie does try to be a good goddaughter, but she just can't keep her interest long with the wife. It's not something that Hana does wrong on her part. She does try so very hard. It's just that she doesn't quite know how to really handle children. She'd never been around other children when she was young, surrounded by protective adults who catered to her every whim and worried for her safety every minute. When she isn't able to keep up with Kylie, her first instinct is to be strict. Impose rules on the child, treat her as if she is made of spun glass, like every movement might break her. I at least have some idea from being around street kids. I know the games they've played and how they think. I know the scrapes and skinned knees are all part of childhood. Even with how I grew up, I had time to be a child and not some sheltered heiress. With Kylie, as behaved as she can be with her toys and her books and art, she has to use up all her energy somehow. To run around the playground and make a mess in the mud, or to even just fake wrestle for a short while. Let her be a child when she wants, I'll say. If it becomes too much, just bribe her sweets or ship her back to her papa. Problem solved. Unfortunately, Hana isn't quite up for those sort of things most of the time, thinking it'll spoil the child. It turns a whole playdate awkward every time. Taking the last seat left, I pluck one of her coloring books from the table to see it filled with dinosaurs. Not exactly what I expect to see for a little girl, but doesn't hurt anyone. And we'll just have to find out more about what's in the coloring books in the next episode.
Color a dinosaur.
Yeah. I'm waiting to see something creepy happen with the doll. They spent way too much time describing that for something to not happen.
Let me tell you, some of those girls' dolls are really creepy.
Anyway, that's going to do it for us. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.